All right, good time to bring in our next guest right here, Peyton. Let's welcome in the quarterback who led the Carolina Panthers to Super Bowl 38, Jake Delhomme. Jake, you played in high school in Louisiana around the same time that Peyton did. You guys are about the same age. So, Jake, why do you think Peyton looks 30 years older than you?
That's a great question. You know, I'd like to say it's all the interceptions he threw as a rookie. But I had my fair share myself, so I can't blame it on that. But I can't answer that. It might just be, you know, you don't know if he's in Denver at this house, he's in Knoxville at this house. I mean, I'm sure it's stressful living all over the place. You just don't know where you're going to be at from one day to the next.
Yeah, all the memorabilia you had to have and collect and put it up, you know, for your background takes a lot of time, a lot of stress.
Okay. Jake, you had an impressive 7-year run with the Panthers, Pro Bowl, 3 trips to the postseason. Incredible performance in Super Bowl 38. What does this Panthers organization mean to you?
You know, it means the world to me. You know, Pate, I always tell people I was lucky enough to play 15 years, but if you cut me, I'm going to bleed Carolina blue. I was able to play the majority of my career when I did play. Instead of being a backup, I played in Carolina. We had a great run there, made the Super Bowl, NFC Championship game 2 years later, and won the division a few times. So it means the world to me, and right now I'm lucky to be a part of it. For the majority of the season, I am one of the radio broadcast partners. I do some of the color along with Luke Kuechly. It's my weekend off. They're giving me a hard time because they said I had to big time them to be on the ManningCast tonight. So I just kind of went with it, you know.
And Jake, you know, your Panthers are right here in the playoff picture. And like you said, you do a lot of the Panthers radio. You know this team really well. Do you think they have what it's in them to get a little comeback tonight in this fourth quarter and you know, get the lead back here?
Ooh. You know what? I think we do. Nice move by Bryce. See if we can get something positive out of this. You know, we're already in field goal range, to be honest, so we can get it to a one-score game. We played so poorly in the first half. Anytime you have a big red zone turnover like we did, you don't want to leave points. You don't want to leave points out on the field. But we do have what we need to do. We're running out of bodies. We're having a bunch of injuries right now. But if we can get some points, you'd love a touchdown here. But even if it's a field goal, make it a one-possession game. And Bryce has 10 come from behind victories already in the NFL in his young career. So kind of on the edge of my seat here. I've been waiting all night, and it's just kind of like, because we're finally, you can see we're starting to turn the corner a little bit. Just can we get over that corner right now?
Oh,
oh no.
No.
Oh, no.
Gosh.
Oh, man.
You kind of just let him
Yeah,
a
that's
little
a
bit.
tough one
right
there.
Peyton.
And safety is not backing up in the middle of the field,
not
Jake.
backing
He's
up.
getting flat-footed. There's something over the top probably to be had right there. Dang.
Yeah, they kind of played that way all night. We were able to get the touchdown to T-Mac earlier on kind of like the Dino post, but they are kind of sitting. Oh, man.
Yeah.
So got to get a stop on D.
Stay with us. Stay with us,
Stay
Jake.
with us, Jake.
Yeah. Hey, Jake, it looks to me like it's supposed to be kind of cover one, and you just assume this free safety, Brown's going to be deep in the middle of the field, but he never really backs up. And so if he doesn't back up, you'd almost say it's cover zero and maybe look for one of those seams. But to me, if he doesn't back up, you can't just throw this in route in the middle of the field because you assume he's going to be deep in the middle of the field. Is that what you see? Play it.
Yeah, you'd have to assume the safety is going to be cheating over to T-Mac. You know, he's our number one wide receiver. So it's almost like a hole player. You kind of funnel the corner. They're playing outside, funnel him inside, and he was able to jump it and make the pick. And we've done a couple of plays this year where we've kind of dipped the safety, but, you know, he's our number one receiver, and that's kind of probably what they predicated on and reading Bryce's eyes because you can tell, unfortunately, he kind of was staring at him the whole way.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of think that's probably the read that was open in practice. Maybe you pump that thing and hit somebody on the seam route because there's no safety help on the other side. So, heck of a play by Brown.
5-yard penalty.
Yeah, especially being in field goal range. That's crucial. And you can see Kyle very upset because they just get a illegal motion penalty. And so we've got to get the ball back. 3 timeouts, 5:38. We got to get a stop by our defense here to get the ball back to give us a chance. Now, T-Mac, as we watching, you saw him get pulled coming out the break.
He gets pulled
that
a little
affected.
bit, yeah.
I think Yeah, he's across the safety's face. So is it a collision? Does he body him up? So that's something that, yeah, would we have liked that call? Could have been a game changer.
Jake, I know obviously, look, you're a Panthers fan, but you weren't drafted out of college. Brock Purdy was drafted the last pick of the draft. I know you're not rooting for him, but do you find yourself rooting for guys like Brock Purdy because he was overlooked in the draft by so many people like you were as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I watched him play at Iowa State and just enjoyed watching him play and just to see the success that he's having. And you always pull for those guys. And, you know, I wasn't fortunate enough to my last name was Delhomme. You know, it wasn't Manning. I couldn't be the number one overall pick. I was just glad at least I was invited to be at the Manning camp every now and then, you know. But, no, I pull for those guys, man. Whenever you he's not a 6'4", 6'5" quarterback, right? He doesn't have this big rocket arm, but he's a high processor with a huge heart, really good feet in the pocket. You love to see success when guys get an opportunity.
Jake, there you are at the Manning Passing Academy. You just mentioned that down in Thibodaux, Louisiana. Something we're proud of, Jake. You're the original camp counselor 30 years ago. You know, two-point part question here. What do you remember about your first years at the camp, and how exciting was it for you to coach up a young Eli Manning?
Well, I'm still mesmerized by the size of your quads in that top picture. It's unbelievable how massive they were. Because I remember
powerful.
you putting on the tutorial of doing the squats, so I do remember that. But yeah, it was, listen, I love those times. And here's the thing. Everybody knows Peyton, everybody knows Eli, right? I was an Archie Manning fan. Like, this is when we were in college and you were in high school. I got to go meet Archie Manning. I think that was the thing that I was most excited about. Like one of the legends in the world. And when I got invited, I just couldn't believe I was actually going to get to go and meet Archie Manning. Peyton and Eli, I didn't even know who Eli was. Peyton I knew because of high school around the same time, and he was still at Tennessee at that time. But, man, it was Archie Manning.
Love it.
Jake, you're talking about, you know, knowing Peyton because y'all were playing high school together, and y'all, you know, were both Louisiana quarterbacks, and we have some evidence. I have a picture I want to show. This is the state passing leaders pulled from a newspaper. Jake, there you are, and there's Peyton. So I guess my question is, should we have Josh Booty on? You know, should we have had him on instead tonight?
You know, you might have. I know Peyton, you know, he probably holds a grudge because if I remember right, I'm a year ahead of them. Whenever they came out, Peyton wasn't considered the #1 quarterback in the country at the time. It was Josh Booty. So I know that probably still eats at Peyton to this day, if I know Peyton at all.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
You do know him.
Jake, you mentioned that you weren't a man and your name was Delhomme, but Chris Berman had the greatest nickname of all time for you all those years. I mean, hopefully people still refer to you by that nickname. We're going to play it right here in a minute, so let everybody find out what the nickname was. But that takes the cake of all time from Berman's nicknames. I got to believe that was an honor for you.
Oh, it definitely was an honor. Get the first down.
Let's take a listen here.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear it.
San Francisco's lead down to 4. Then Jake Daylight come, and you got a Delhomme. Muhsin Muhammad, touchdown.
The thing I love most about that is that it's Moose catching it. And I see Moose every time I'm in Charlotte for the game. And, okay, another first down. And every time I see him, that's exactly how he refers to me. He doesn't call me Jake. It's Daylight come. And he says it to this day. And it just brings back such good memories. So, yeah, I think that was awesome, man.
All right. Good drive here, like you said.
It's 4:08.
Hey, Jake, probably try to get points before the 2-minute warning. I would say, right, man. Touchdown's great, but you're also playing against the clock. Get points before the 2-minute warning would be my goal here.
Yeah, and we only have 2 timeouts left because we had to burn one. So they're bringing pressure. Get out.
There you go. There you go. Good play there.
Boom. We're in field goal range, right? Now let's go get a touchdown. We're starting to get Xavier Legette involved. I get my heart racing a little bit here, man.
I like it.
Fired up.
But do you think, Jake, if a touchdown's not in the mix here, I mean, kicking it
You got to get
before the
points.
2-minute warning, is important. Oh, they're going to call downfield. Shoot.
Oh, we had a flag. Missed it. Man.
Second down.
He was out of bounds. He was out of bounds. Yep.
He went out of bounds. He stepped out of bounds, and he was the illegal touching.
Didn't realize it.
Oh, gosh. Didn't
Tough
realize
situation right there. The best thing you can do as a receiver, if you knew it, was you would just lay down. You would just stay out of bounds and not even become a target, because the quarterback's not going to know. He's not going to see that, but he wouldn't have known right there either. So,
all right, so 2nd and 10, 3:59. We're still, Fitzgerald, our kicker's got a strong leg. We still need to get in field goal range. Looks like they're going to play coverage here. So if we got a shot, take it. If not, just check it down. Get yardage.
No sack.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay, now you got to get in the field goal range and you got to kick it. You got to get in the field goal range and you got to just kick it, right?
Yeah. What do you got to get, Pay? You got to get to the 40-yard line. Can you kick a 50? Jake, can the kicker kick a 57-yarder?
Yes, big leg. Rookie Ryan Fitzgerald out of Florida State. Really big, strong, powerful leg. Don't know what the wind situation is right now, but it doesn't seem to be that much of a factor. We got to get a strong 10 here.
49ers called timeout there.
49ers called timeout.
All right.
Stay with. All right, welcome back. All right, 3rd and 18. Pate, I feel like you got to, you think the 49ers had a bad call that they, you're playing so much prevent that they would give up a 10-yarder. You don't want to give up a 10-yarder right here. You kind of could come at some pressure and
I would think maybe bring a little pressure here. As a quarterback, I'd actually like to see pressure. I can get the ball out of my hand, hopefully hit a guy running.
Certainly doesn't look like it.
Doesn't look like it. They're rushing 4. No sacks. There you go. Get upfield. Get north.
Get up
north.
the field. Get up
All
the field.
Now let's go Mayday. Let's go Mayday.
Yeah, Mayday,
We're on the clock here. We're going quick. Let's go kick it quickly. Let's go.
Let's see if we're running out there.
I was watching pregame warm-ups, Jake, believe it or not. I was watching the kickers warm up. He struggled kind of from 50 to 55 in this range, a little more of the weather elements. Eli wasn't watching, Jake, but I was watching the kickers.
I do not believe you. I do not believe one word that's coming out of your mouth right now.
This is huge, boys. This is huge.
Pushed it.
Oh, no. He was short, too.
Man.
Yeah.
That's going to be
I think
That's going to be tough, boy. It's going to be really tough now.
In.
It's going to be really tough. Man, that's a rough one. Just to prove that I wasn't lying when I said I was much more of an Archie fan, this is my first jersey, and that's a fact.
Look at that.
How about that? That's a
beautiful.
fact.
That is amazing. That's amazing.
I mean,
they weren't making many jerseys back then either. Like nowadays, you see all those jerseys. Back then, that was hard to get.
Exactly. I guess I might be showing my age too now. So but I don't know, but that's a fact. That was my first jersey I ever had.
Speaking of old school stuff, Jake, I want to show a play from your career that wasn't a big touchdown pass in the playoffs, the Super Bowl. We'll show it here when we can. Playing the Falcons in 2005, you were sacked on your first drive. We have a little video of that. Let's take a look here after this play here. 2005 against the Falcons. Tell us what happened here, Jake.
Yeah, early in the game, first drive, I get sacked and my butt comes out. I feel a draft and it's freezing cold and my butt comes out and I look at the ref. My center, Jeff Mitchell, tells me, hey, your butt's hanging out. And I look at the ref and he starts laughing. He goes, I can't give you a timeout. So I have to call a timeout. I'm walking to the sideline and John Fox is looking at me. It's the second or third play of the game. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And I said, hey, my ass is hanging out. I mean, what you want me to do? And he starts laughing at me. He's laughing. So the trainer, they think fast. They take an ace bandage or a Gatorade towel and they kind of wrap me up. We go down the field. I was able to throw a touchdown pass to Ricky Prohl. get on the sidelines, and they put the towels around me, and I changed real quick. And I'll never forget, there were some people, some ladies on the first row, and they were waving dollar bills, you know, so it was pretty comical. Because early on at Atlanta, that's kind of a late arriving crowd, so there wasn't a ton of people. But yeah, pretty nice little draft going on. I wanted to be famous for something in my life. I didn't think it would be that.
Be that. Beautiful.
Jake, while we're at it, I want to show a little clip. We can talk about your first ever game for Carolina. And you're driving to win the game versus Jacksonville, and then something happens, and we'll show it after this play here. Here it is, right here. All right, you're driving down. All right, Jay, did you discuss the fake spike with anyone else? Because it didn't look like it, that you told anyone else you were doing that.
So, listen, Peyton has teased me about this for years. This is my first game plan. I get thrown in at half. And we had a clock signal and we had a watch signal where we're gassed and we're going down the field, and I gave the whole, so to pull the Dan Marino, right, against the Jets, the fake and throw it. Well, Moose and Steve and Ricky Prohl, they just look at me, and the line, they're thinking I'm spiking it, and was it Tony Bracken, I think, was on one side, and maybe Keith Mitchell on the other, and they had a party at my face. And thank goodness, I don't know if replay was available then. I think I actually fumbled. But thank goodness. So, yeah, so your brother has gotten after me for many, many years about that play.
Y'all won that game, though, right? You still won it, right? So all good, right?
Yeah, we did. We were able to win it on a 4th down pass play to Ricky Prohl right here.
Let's go. Let's go.
Look at that. Look at that throw. High and away.
How about that catch, huh?
Accuracy. Look at the celebration.
Yeah,
fired up right there.
Gave the whole fake spike and got smoked.
All right, stay with us.
Delhomme fires to an open Smith. Steve Smith is going to go all the way. No flags down. Smith scores, and the Carolina Panthers win in overtime.
Jake, walk-off wins are usually a baseball thing, but you and the Panthers with a double OT walk-off in the divisional round of the 2003 playoffs. Jake, is it true? I think you told me you never completed that pass once in practice before completing it in the game?
100%. We put it in that week because we saw Carson Palmer and Chad Johnson run it against that defense, and we put it in, and Steve and I couldn't complete it. I was thinking he was going to take a real high angle. He would come flat. We ran it like 2 or 3 times, and we were both getting frustrated, and Dan Henning, in his infinite wisdom, was like, hey, I'm calling again in the game. You're gonna get it just taken care of. He called it twice in the game. We completed it both times, and this was the first play of double overtime. And Steve was able to take it and and take it to the house. And what a great memory, man! Any playoff win's huge, but to walk it off in double overtime against the greatest show on turf in St. Louis, pretty darn good, man.
No doubt. Jake, I know I speak for you. Eli and I don't like field goals or the Patriots. Let's show the real highlight of Super Bowl 38 when we can. This is your Super Bowl record.
Yep, Eli, you've run this
touchdown pass to Muhammad.
Is that
Jake, what are your emotions like after this score? Talk about your emotions.
That's 100%. That is Exxon, E. Yep,
I like that.
They just made the first down ball game. Yeah, E, it was Exxon, and really and truly, I didn't mean to throw it to Moose at all, but I just had a lot of protection. I was able to keep sliding, and he never stopped running. And then as I'm running down the field, you check for flags, right? So I'm running down, I see Rodney Harrison, so I said, man, I'm going to run with my arms up, and hopefully I get a chicken wing, because I said get a cheap 15. Well, he gave me a chicken wing, and there was no flag, and I'd love to remember what I told him, but I probably can't remember. I just think the emotions were so high at that time in the 4th quarter of a Super Bowl. But, yeah, play, Eli. I know you've had many, many completions on. Good old Exxon. Yeah.
Good old Exxon. It's a good one.
Man, that's a tough game tonight, guys.
Kind of a strange game.
Well.
I mean, if your defense gets that many interceptions, you feel like you ought to have a shot to win it in the end. But the interception in the red zone, we've all done it. Like Eli talked about it. He could have run. You kind of lose sight of that guy who stinks back. got that one in the back of the end zone. That one kind of just sent their offense in kind of a bad start, I think.
They didn't have many plays.
Yeah, and,
San Francisco had a 9-minute drive to start the game. I think they had 40 plays. Just didn't never got into a good rhythm.
Yeah, and tough task. It's a quality football team, and now we got to come home on a short week to play the Rams before our bye, and looked like we got a little beat up tonight. So that's the NFL, guys. It's but I think it's coming. I think Dan Morgan and Dave Canales have really done a great job with Brant Tillis, and this team's starting to turn the corner. And it's a lot of youth we're playing with, and there's some growing pains, and this is part of the process.
No doubt about it. Well put. Jake, we appreciate you, buddy. Thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah,
You're
guys.
awesome, man.
Happy Thanksgiving, man.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, happy Thanksgiving to you guys and the family, man. Thank y'all. Take care.
See you,
Love
pal.
watching the
Thanks,
show.
bud. Appreciate it, buddy.